I know, okay? I know. I'm here about to predict the World Cup quarterfinals. But first, let me just see how I did with my last 16 predictions.
I'm sorry, but Holland are without a doubt crashing out. Just you watch. America are going through.
Nope! Holland won by 3-1, and I was made to look like I've got the brains of tin soup. Right, what else? Argentina versus Australia then.
This is going to be a complete and utter embarrassment. Honestly, this is going to be an insanely easy win for the Argies. 4-0. Honestly, 4 goals, 2-0. The Argies are going to destroy the Aussies, and if I'm wrong, if Australia actually manage to qualify, then I will do my food shopping in Tesco wearing nothing but a towel.
Well, at least Australia lost the match, but I said 4-0 a national embarrassment. No, instead it was a narrow 2-1 loss, and lads, they were lucky not to bring it to extra time. I mean, Aziz Behic nearly scored one of the greatest ever World Cup solo goals, and I'm guessing that the new Newcastle United kid, Gareth Cole, has probably spent the last week weeping into a pint of cheese. But what else then? France versus Poland.
So you know what? I think this will go to penalties. I reckon this is going to be an afternoon of hell for France. They're going to be so frustrated. They'll pepper the Poland goal with shots, but Szczesny will save everyone. It'll be a 0-0 draw. Go to penalties, and yeah, more Szczesny magic. Poland are going through.
No, 3-1 France win. Christ above. Right, England versus Senegal.
It's going to be a frustrating evening for England. They'll take an early lead through Jude Bellingham, and we'll all be deafened with the sounds of "It's coming home!" But then Senegal will score. But don't worry. Just like against Denmark in the Euro 2020 semi-final, you'll get an extra time penalty against a tired, sloppy defense. And yeah, Harry Kane will slap it past Edouard Mendy. So don't worry, you'll still win this match. But oh lads, it'll be tough.
Okay, England won, but extra time? No, this match was so easy. The Southgate could literally have played the game with a fat Troy Deeney up front, and they'd have still won this match. Right, Japan versus Croatia then.
I think Japan are winning this match. I think they're going to the semi-finals. Trust me, they're going to be one of the all-time great World Cup dark horses. But yeah, horrible 0-0 draw, but Japan will win on penalties. And cue absolute scenes.
I said penalty. I was right about the penalties.
Honestly, lads, I'm going to back this even further. If Croatia win this match, then I will do an entire video wearing nothing but my mother's dress.
Thanks, Japan. And finally, Brazil versus South Korea.
This is going to be the match where Brazil finally clicks. South Korea are getting absolutely eaten alive on toast. I'm going to go for a Vinicius Jr. hat-trick and a 5-0 win.
I mean, I was right. Sort of. I said 5-0, and okay, it was 4-1, but I was mostly correct. It's just oh no.
Honestly, I know that Brazil will score the goals, but I'm even more confident that Alisson Becker is keeping a clean sheet. Honestly, for every goal South Korea manages to score against Brazil, I will rub one ball of dog food on my face.
Even the puppy looks like he's laughing at me. Oh, it smells. Is this actually my life? Right, let's go. Oh lads, I want to see your predictions. Let me know in the comment section below. How do you think these games are going to go? Let me know. And also, while you're there, slap that subscribe button. Trying to get to 200k, you absolute legends. Anyway, back into the video. Right, let's go. Croatia versus Brazil. Croatia just won't go away. I'm sorry, but they're like that weary old grandmother who comes over for Christmas tea. I mean, you're expecting that by 3 p.m. she'll be passed out on a sleeping bag with wet cauliflower crumbs stuck to her chin and snoring like a bear in the woods. But instead, she spends the next 7 hours belting out Justin Bieber songs on the karaoke machine and playing Twister with the dog. I mean, this golden generation of Croatia was supposed to be done. I mean, sure, reaching the final of the 2018 World Cup, that was supposed to be the pinnacle for Luka Modric's career, right? I mean, they weren't supposed to come back again. Just like how Belgium's golden generation was spectacularly melted into sticky Ghana fudge this month, I thought when Croatia conceded 5 against Spain at Euro 2020, then we could finally write them off as any sort of meaningful contender, right? I mean, come on, their best player's nearly 40 years of age. His knees probably hurt even just reaching for the Cocoa Pops. But still, they are in a World Cup quarter-final, having essentially cracked Japan's collective heart like an Easter egg. By the way, I had forgotten just how bad Croatia actually were in 2018. I mean, surely the worst ever World Cup finalists. I mean, everyone remembers that Modric brilliance and the standout thumping of Argentina in the group stage, but come on, let's be realistic here. They didn't win a single match inside 90 minutes once they made it out of the group. I mean, don't forget, they're out of 16. They were 1-0 down after a minute against Denmark. I mean, Ozzy, this was the last 5 matches of that World Cup. A last-minute win over Iceland, a draw with Denmark, a draw with Russia, an extra-time win over England, and finally, conceding 4 against France. Lads, Croatia had to come from behind in every single knockout match. I mean, that is weak. They really weren't anything special at all. I mean, Christ above, if they just lost that penalty shootout in the quarter-final, then England would have had a semi-final with Russia. And I'm sorry, but even Southgate's men would have eaten them like brown bread. Well, come on, find me one single soul on planet Earth who thinks that Croatia are now going to beat Brazil. I'm sorry, but if I'm Brazilian, I'm embarrassed that a country like Croatia, a nation with a footballing history of a spoon, have reached a World Cup final more recently than them. Lads, if Brazil don't get to the final this month, then it will be at least 24 years without Brazil in a World Cup final. For a country who obsess over football, the same way a comic book geek obsesses over the size of Wolverine's knob, then that is surely a disgrace. Lads, Brazil are gonna wolf down Croatia like they're a plate of scrambled eggs. I mean, what is there to fear from this Croatian team? If you ignore the Canada match, then they failed to score against Morocco and Belgium, and only netted once against Japan. I mean, this is a team with 2 goalless draws, so sure, I mean, they're actually a stiff, well-organized defensive team, but going forward, they're about as dangerous as a plastic sink. I can tell you definitely that for a fact that Alisson Becker is not conceding a goal to Croatia. No, that is a guaranteed clean sheet. And again, I mean, if Brazil do concede a goal, then I will rub cat food on my face. Yeah, I never learned. But honestly, I reckon Croatia will steer a bus in front of their goal and essentially pray for penalties. Honestly, it'll be a frustrating hour for the Brazilians, but I reckon a super sub like Anthony will break the deadlock before Neymar scruffs in a late penalty. Croatia 0, Brazil 2. Honestly, watching the first half of this game, with Croatia showing all the ambition of a dehydrated cow, it'll be a tough watch. A bit like staring at Steve Bruce washing his armpits in the jacuzzi, but still, Brazil will wear them down, Lovren will give away a penalty, and yeah, 2-0. Just you watch. Netherlands versus Argentina. Netherlands versus Argentina. Oh, right now, you're probably all drooling on the floor to such an animated degree to where you now look like that brain-damaged duck off Space Jam. But I'm sorry, wake up. This is a match which usually takes place at a World Cup 8 years apart. I mean, in 2006, this was a revolting 0-0 draw in the group stage. I mean, both these teams were absolutely dripping with world-class talent, like Wesley Sneijder, Robin van Persie, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Lionel Messi, Carlos Tevez. Honestly, that was so mouth-watering. It was like staring at a plate of chicken nuggets. But no, a hideous 0-0. And then again in 2014, Argentina reached the final shore. But anyone remember who they played in the semi-final? No, because your brain is probably erased it from your memory. But like how you probably don't remember who won the X Factor in 2008. Clearly, it's not an important memory for your brain to keep. I mean, again, your brain would probably do something similar if you were to accidentally see your grandmother in the tub. Yeah, that's very quickly getting whitewashed from your skull. But yeah, that semi-final was a horrible 0-0 draw with the Dutch. And it was a game which went to penalties, but honestly, the game was about as exciting as watching 2 pigs playing chess. Honestly, watching that jury match, it's been like sitting through any episode of the Great British Bake Off. Oh, I wonder what chubby wannabe chef from Grimsby is going to eat his own cookies during the advert break. So yeah, now, 8 years later, if you believe in symmetry, then surely there's going to be another 0-0 draw. Honestly, it's like a trilogy fight, right? But for those of you looking forward to this, just no. I don't understand why. It's like those same naive fools who actually got excited about the latest Matrix film. I mean, do you not remember how hideously dull the previous 2 were? Or again, a bit like people queuing up to buy tickets to see Avatar 2, despite the last one being boring, overrated garbage. Honestly, it was just a bunch of Smurfs fornicating in the woods. This Netherlands versus Argentina match is just Fury versus Chisora 3. Nobody should really want it. I promise you, this is going to be one of the dullest ever World Cup games of all time. I mean, Christ above, Holland even have the same negative coach they had for the 0-0 draw 8 years ago. But honestly, strap yourselves in. This is going to be an ugly, ugly watch. I mean, part of me thinks that Julian Alvarez will snatch a late 1-0 win for Argentina. I mean, part of my brain genuinely believes that, but you can't ignore history. I would be an absolute fool to go against the 0-0 pattern here. I mean, just like how some ugly clown rises from the dead to eat children in Derry every 27 years, then similarly, every 8 years, there is a goalless draw at the World Cup between the Argies and the Dutch. Football heritage. So yeah, 0-0 draw, with Argentina winning on penalties after, I don't know, penalty misses from Daley Blind and Martin de Roon. Just you watch. Morocco versus Portugal. Everyone loves Morocco this week, right? No, not me, because this was supposed to be Spain. What happened? Spain were my tips to win the World Cup. I mean, immediately after they beat Costa Rica 7-0, I publicly said in here that they would win the entire tournament. They haven't won a game since. Ever since that comment, a draw with Germany, beaten by Japan, and now turfed out by Morocco. Am I a curse? Am I a legitimate curse? I mean, remember when Spain conquered the world in 2010? Winning that final in South Africa and putting up their flag of complete, utter world dominance? Imagine telling someone, anyone, that the next time Spain would win a World Cup knockout match would be at least 16 years later. 16! That's longer longer than the epilogue in the last Harry Potter book. It's mental. I feel like how I did when as a teenage boy. Someone told me that Lost would be 7 seasons long. I'm sorry. How can it take you 7 years to swim off a bastard island? And similarly, 16 long years for the glorious Spanish to win another knockout match? It's quite frankly insane. Lads, by 2026, there will be fully grown adults legally able to drink who can't remember ever seeing Spain win a knockout match at the World Cup. It's honestly ridiculous. I mean, it gets even worse. Since winning the thing in 2010, these are the only teams that Spain have managed to beat at the World Cup. Australia, Iran, and Costa Rica. That's it! What? I mean, you can also chuck in defeats to Chile, Japan, oh yeah, and a 5-1 loss against Holland. They've also failed to beat Portugal, Russia, Germany, and now Morocco twice. It makes no sense. I mean, the way the Spanish conquered the world with tiki-taka football in 2010, around the same time that Barcelona are winning nearly every Champions League in sight, it doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna say this, but this is arguably the worst defense of a World Cup crown ever. I mean, I know, sure, France balled it in 2002 when reigning champions from 1998, but I mean, France still reached the final again in 2006, but this is a sustained period of bottling it over the course of 12 years and 3 World Cups. Lads, the last time Spain won a knockout match at the World Cup, January were in the charts. So thank you, Spain. You have absolutely made me look like a clown who eats his sister's lipstick. You might say I've cursed the Spanish, but have I? Can I repeat for you? Since winning the World Cup, they only beaten Australia, Iran, and Costa Rica. It's embarrassing. It's hideous. It's just... what? Back in 2010, I was under some sort of illusion that Spain would win multiple World Cups and conquer the planet. That this was a new wave of football. Instead, nope, I look like I got the brains of a pineapple. Lads, a Spanish player hasn't even scored in a World Cup knockout match since Iniesta's strike in the World Cup final. But what's even weirder is that the last time Spain even managed to score 2 goals in a World Cup knockout match was against Denmark in 1986. That is going to be at least 40 years of Spain never scoring more than 1 goal in a World Cup knockout match. Doesn't that just hurt your brain? And that's also the only knockout match in World Cup history where Spain has scored more than 1 goal. Just what? But yeah, Morocco somehow turfed Spain out, and I'm annoyed. I mean, come on, I wanted Spain versus Portugal, the Iberian derby in the World Cup quarter-final match. I mean, at the last World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a hat-trick against them in a 3-3 draw. But now instead, we got Portugal versus Morocco. Oh yeah, met at the last World Cup too. Dour 1-0 win for the Portuguese. So yeah, everyone loves that Morocco win, but I mean, to me, looking at Ashraf Hakimi do his Panenka penalty and then celebrate like the penguin out of happy feet, it annoyed me. And yeah, I know, for this game, Morocco have a great defense. They remind me of Greece in 2004. They don't really score goals, but they've got a mean defense. Lads, Morocco only conceded 1 goal in this World Cup, and even that was an own goal against Canada. They remind me of Portugal at Euro 2016. But this Portugal team just stuck 6 past the Swiss. That was their 12th goal of the competition. Oh yeah, and Gonzalo Ramos scored a hat-trick. Honestly lads, Portugal are going to be a problem for every team in this competition. And yeah, here, this will be pretty comfy. They'll snatch an early goal, which will throw Morocco's game plan in a bin. And yeah, Morocco will have to be a bit more ambitious and commit more men forwards. And they will allow someone like Rafa Leao to kill off the game in the last 10 minutes. A comfy Portugal win. Morocco 0, Portugal 2. I mean, trust me lads, if Morocco actually reaches the semi-finals, which they won't, then I will do an entire video covered head to toe in nothing but ketchup. England versus France. So there's it. The mouth-watering tie, right? England versus France. And I've already said this, I'm thrilled that Gareth Southgate has finally been given a proper knockout test instead of, you know, having to navigate his way past Colombia, Sweden, and Senegal. So this will be a tasty match. And I'm sorry, but this is the quarterfinal which will feature goals. Because so far, I've predicted 2-0 wins and a goalless draw. But this is the exciting one. I'm just gonna spit it out. A 4-2 win for France. I'm sorry, but for the last 4 years, English fans have been wondering,
oh, what would have happened if we had beat Croatia? Would we have beaten the French?
No, you wouldn't. And here, I know I said France would have a rotten tournament as defending champions. But clearly, they won't. Clearly, I was very, very wrong. Because if that was the case, they would have crashed out in the group or somehow choked against Poland. But they didn't. And Kylian Mbappe is in razor-sharp form. I've already said it. Southgate is a managerial tube of Pringles compared to a Champions League finalist and world champion like Didier Deschamps. I mean, honestly, if both men were in club football, I reckon Deschamps would be in line to manage either Chelsea or Juventus whenever their manager next gets the sack. While Southgate, I honestly believe he'd be coaching Middlesbrough QPR, and Deschamps is going to tactically annihilate him with a fork. I mean, Deschamps has been the France manager for a decade now, right? This is his 3rd World Cup. Well, the only managers who have beaten him at a World Cup are Joachim Low in 2014, you know, less than 10 days before he became world champion. Oh yeah, and the Tunisia coach last week. Although, to be fair, in that match, it just looked like Deschamps and let his granny pick the team. So really, is Southgate going to be tactically efficient enough to beat Deschamps in a duel? No, it's like putting Neville Longbottom in a fight against Voldemort. Absolutely no chance. France will war into an early 2-goal lead. Mbappe and Giroud will get on the score sheet and send Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw back into their horrible double-act disaster class they showed against Tottenham in 2020 when they were bouncing off each other like they're on some invisible trampoline. Harry Kane will scuffle in a goal to rally the troops just before half time, but then France will catch you on their break after 60 minutes, Mbappe with a breakaway goal, and then Southgate will nervously empty his bench. Someone like Jack Grealish might scuffle in a late 80th minute goal to give England hope. They'll chuck everyone forward to try and make a last minute equaliser before Mbappe raises clear in the 95th minute, and he'll set up Marcus Thuram for a tap in to make it 4. Honestly, 4-2, which will absolutely break England's hearts. Trust me, lads, it's over for England. France are absolutely winning this match by 4 goals to 2, and I'm the only one who's going to predict this and get the scoreline right. Nobody else is predicting 4-2 to France, but I am. Sitting here in a dress, I'm going to be right. England 2, France 4. Remember this scoreline. It's happening. And yeah, if England win, I'll shave the English flag into my head. Anyway, that's what you think. Let me know in the comment section below what do you think, right? Let me know in the comment section below what you think is gonna be. Put your predictions down below. I wanna see. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.